tryna go be. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Made it, killing it, did it again. But the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it. Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
Can McCaffrey do it again? It's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, dual threat Christian McCaffrey. Fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. With that, let's get up to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. We're standing by for the call are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start, but I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This one fielded at the 5. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by a man who's now in his 11th season in the league, Matthew Stafford at 31 years of age.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
Now it's Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after it.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. This is Bell. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down. And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ha-ha, Clinton Dix making the safety blitz look easy. Zooms in for the sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 18. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Bears take over. So here now the Bears offense for their first drive of the game. Commanding this unit will be the 6'2 quarterback out of BYU. It's Taysom Hill.
And I like his honesty, because when we sat down with him, I mean, he was the first one to say, that was on me last week, a really poor performance. Way too many interceptions, didn't find the end zone throwing the ball, put his defense and his special teams in some real jeopardy, but somehow they won the game.
They won.
Yeah, what I loved about it is when he told us about the defense kind of corralling him in the locker room and said, all right, my man, we're not going to do that again this week, are we?
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. The last time these two teams met, boy, was it memorable. Wild card weekend last year as the Eagles started their Super Bowl title defense, and they held on thanks to the doink, or the double doink, heard around the world on the Cody Parkey missed field goal, and the Eagles would escape 16-15. Of course, they would go on to lose the following weekend to the New Orleans Saints.
Down, 70, Indy. Hey, tight down.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down. Time to peek at the defensive starters. Here they are for Philadelphia. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
They're not an elite unit. They're not, as what you'd say, the top part of the league against the run. They're a solid group, though. They do a good job. What they're looking for in this one, though, is an elite performance.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Now a man who really stepped up last year. This is Matt Breida. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards. But instead, offense out there. They're going for it. So here we go on 4th. Hill steps away to his left. And he's got his tight end, Oliver. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 14 yards into Chicago, 1st down. They'll run with McCaffrey. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Christian McCaffrey, his 9th touchdown of the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
PHI up and good by Rosas. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. From the gun on third down, Stafford. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now fourth down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Now on 2nd and 13. Hill. Shedding the tackle. That gives him some room. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Here we go. 64. Here I come again. Snap.
McCaffrey. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
So first down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's second and goal. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. He picks up 7 yards there, but they're still faced with a difficult third and goal here. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Jared Cook. His 9th touchdown of the season as the Bears push further out in front.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Rosas good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Here we go.
The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. A shotgun snap for Stafford. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Now on 2nd and 13. Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Well, that's 2 sacks in this game, so add that to the 4 from last week. I think that's 6.
Good math. Excellent math. And look, he's going to get all the attention he deserves. It. He got home and got the quarterback on the ground. But that's a concentrated team effort because you have a lot of guys who occupy blockers to allow him act.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Sam Martin now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. It's taken to the 26. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And this is Cook with a grab. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. This is McCaffrey on the give. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Back to the ground on first, it's McCaffrey. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. They'll try the air now with Hill. And brought in by the tight end Cook. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Jared Cook, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game, as the Bears push further out in front.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Rosas to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. So quick on the spin.
He's spinning, man.
And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And now let's look at the quarterback, Matthew Stafford, in our player spotlight. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. Stafford now to throw. That's caught by Howard. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
Let's go.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw. Stafford. That's caught. It's Jared-VOI. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. Complete to right. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now he's signaling a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This is a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. And the kick by Butker is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something.
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll get started out at Arrowhead. Minnesota making the rare visit down to Kansas City. And it's the Vikings who are out in front. Keenan Allen, a touchdown reception. From there, we'll head east to check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Tennessee Titans. The Titans seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Lastly, let's get to Pittsburgh. Check on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. And you can see there it's the visiting Colts who have the lead in that one. Golden Tate, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here are the Bears to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. On first down, it's Hill, buying time to his left. Now he's going to throw deep back over the middle. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Push him back.
Throwing again. Hill eluding the pressure right. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. This is intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
After the interception, here's Stanford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
3rd and long. It's Stanford. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Here's Sam Martin now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's taken on the 25. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A gain there of 12 yards and a 1st down for the Bears. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. And boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his. Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Christian McCaffrey. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon as the Bears push further out in front. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Well, PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. This will be taken in at the 1. And they'll start in a hole here as he's brought down at the 11-yard line.
position, trying to get back into the game. Teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he'll go down after losing yardage at the 10. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop, and they've been able to do that.
And he has gotten better every year he's been in the league, always adding something to his game, one of the premier runners in the NFL. I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big. And now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. That's pulled in at the 32. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Elsewhere at Arrowhead, they're in the third quarter. The Vikings opening their lead up to 2 touchdowns now. Mitch Trubisky with 1 touchdown pass thus far. The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10 at their own 43. Hill now to throw. Open man is Myers. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Hill. Oh, good move. Open man, Arcega-Whiteside. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. That one a first down pickup of 8. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's Hill. Escaping the pressure right. And now he's going to use his legs. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Now Hill. That's complete into the hands of Myers. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. To throw is Hill. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Hill. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure whatever the reason is. He better figure it out. Now Stafford. There's the Washington Husky. It's Dante Pettis. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 25 yards there on the catch and run. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Throwing again on second down. Stafford, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. The Eagles on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Stafford. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Here's Stafford. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Stafford down. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Von Miller in there to get him again. That is sack number 6. One off the NFL record of 7. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Now Stafford. Open man is Howard, the tight end.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job with him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Butker's kick here is good. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Let's go. 30 base. Come on.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That's complete to Arcega-Whiteside. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Ready.
This quarterback now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. Now it's Hill. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets them a 1st down.
Set. 18 Gator.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Back to throw. Hill. being chased out left. He'll try and run it. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Open man is Arcega-Whiteside. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's third and goal.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down.
Here's Hill. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. I'm coming. Ready?
So here we go on fourth. Hill got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, his 9th touchdown of the season as the Bears push further out in front.
4th and goal, and they found a way to throw it in the end zone for a touchdown.
And these defenses, they just like 3 downs, get off the field. But here they had to go 4, couldn't get it done.
A lot of the time, you're looking up and saying, okay, if I hold them for 3, at worst, I give up a field goal attempt. When they go for it, sometimes it really affects the defense because maybe they're not mentally prepared to go that 4th down.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward. They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He was looking that time for Dante Pettis, and it's 3rd and short. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Throwing is Stafford. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Flush to his right. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. And the incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Third and long. It's Hill. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for Clyde.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Now the final act of this victory, the extra point. It's up and good, and they add one more to what will wind up a fairly lopsided victory. So we had action to the very end of this one, the score on the final play that they didn't need to have. They didn't just run out the clock, though. They added to their final total.
Played it all the way to the end, and you know, some coaches preach that and tell their teams, that's what I want all the time, and they feel like if they don't do it themselves, they're not living up to the message that they're sending out.
So for the Bears, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.